Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's Outlier Live, where we cover the biggest headlines of the day and what the AI trading data has to say about it. Our top story of the day, Elon Musk just got robbed of basically $56 billion with a B, right? Our second story of the day is the US economy. It's not looking so rosy. And I've been telling you this for months now. And finally, other people are starting to realize, oh yeah, Chris was right, because I'm always right. That's what I tell my family. Doesn't mean that they believe me, but it's what I tell my family. And lastly, Elon Musk is back in the news on the third story of the day. And yeah, it's creepy and I don't really like it at all. However, this is the wave of the future, according to Elon. So all that and more on today's Outlier Live. A judge has basically stolen $56 billion from Elon Musk. Now, some of you are going to be super stoked about that. I'm not. I think that sucks for the dude. He knows what he's doing. He's making great inroads in all these different things across the world. He's one of the smartest and richest man who have ever walked on the planet. And there are people literally walking in my front yard right now. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm not sure. Either way, Tesla CEO Elon Musk is out of $56 billion and says never incorporate your company in the state of Delaware. Next, the decision dares to boldly go where no man has gone before, or at least where no Delaware court has tread. The collection features characterizing Musk's relationship with Tesla, and its directors gave him enormous influence over Tesla. Yeah, of course it did, right? That's his job. He needs enormous influence over Tesla. The judge says Tesla was unable to prove that the stockholder vote was fully informed because the proxy statement inaccurately described the key directors as independent and misleadingly omitted details about the process. And that left the company with the inevitable task of proving the fairness of the largest potential compensation plan in the history of public markets. A task, she said, proved too tall an order despite a group of talented defense attorneys. So basically, Elon Musk was about to get $56 billion richer, as he had outlined in his contract with the Tesla company, right? And this judge is saying, no, we can't do that. You already are the richest man in the world. We're not going to give you $56 billion more. That's too tall of an order. You are being paid too much. Yeah, she literally said that. You're being paid too much. Tesla's agreement is by far the largest compensation ever provided to an executive and is a major factor in making him one of the world's wealthiest individuals. It allows Musk to buy Tesla stock at heavily discounted prices as escalating financial and operational goals are met, though it requires him to hold the stock for at least 5 years. So basically, the way that Elon gets paid is through Tesla stock, but he has to hold it for at least 5 years, and that's okay. Right? Because he knows at the end of 5 years that it's going to be worth tremendously more because Tesla as a company continues to grow, continues to innovate and lead the automotive field. So he's totally okay with being able to get that stock at a discount and then hold it for 5 years and then sell it and take his compensation then. And he qualified for all 12 tranches or performance targets in the compensation plan. But he wasn't guaranteed any salary, but he qualified on all 12 of the performance goals here. Hey, if you're just tuning in, my name is Christopher Yule, and we cover the biggest headlines today and what the AI trading data has to say about it. And if you're interested in that too, be sure to definitely hit the subscribe button down below and start trading with the world's best AI stock trading assistant today. Head to OVTLYR.com to see why outliers win. All right, let's keep on going here. The company argued during a week-long trial that Tesla is paying to ensure one of the world's most dynamic entrepreneurs continued to dedicate his attention to the electronic vehicle maker. But Antonio Garcia, a Tesla director from 2007 to 2021, said the package is a great deal for shareholders because he said it led to the company's extraordinary success. Yeah, absolutely. Attorneys for the plaintiff, investor Richard Tornetta. Richard, you can go jump off a bridge, my friend. Screw you, guy. Attorneys for the plaintiff, Richard Tornetta, said Tesla board never told shareholders that the goals were easier to achieve than the company was acknowledging, and that internal projections showed Musk was on track to qualify for large portions of the pay package. Richard, go jump off a bridge, my friend. Dude made a deal with the company. You decide to walk in because you have invested in Tesla stock and say, oh, no. These goals are just too easy for Elon to hit. He can't get $56 billion. Richard, look, my friend. The last thing I want to do is anger the world's richest and most wealthy men. Okay. I feel bad for you, son. I may have 99 problems, but having Elon on my case is not one of them, and yours is, and I wouldn't be looking forward to that. They argue that Tesla board had a duty to offer a smaller pay package or look for another CEO, and that they should have required Musk to work on Tesla full time instead of allowing him to work on other things like Neuralink and Boring Company and Twitter and all that stuff. I disagree with them wholeheartedly. Elon's doing his thing, and Elon's kicking ass and taking names, right? Musk acquired the social media company Twitter in 2022, and he works on other things like Neuralink, the Boring Company, and SpaceX. Tesla should change its state of incorporation to Texas. Oh, Elon did a poll, he said. Should Tesla change its state of incorporation to Texas, where I'm based? Absolutely so. And that's where its physical headquarters are. And about an hour and a half later, 90% of the 136,000 people had said yes. Kind of agree with them there. The ruling put Tesla's next round of compensation negotiations with Musk in the spotlight. He recently said he would be uncomfortable expanding Tesla's AI work without having at least 25% voting control. And at the moment, he owns 13%. So he's looking to get even more stock out there. Now, if you are interested in looking to get even more stock, why not check out Meta, one of Elon's bitter rivals, right? We talked about having Elon as one of your enemies. I think Mark Zuckerberg over at Meta may be one of those enemies, right? And we're looking at this here. We got a buy signal back on December 26th. And if you've been following the outlier signal returns, these AI signal returns, you'd have seen a 142.59% return. Now, that is a truly outstanding return there following these signals. And you can get access to these signals, a lifetime access, for one very, very low price when you head over to OVTLYRdeal.com. That's OVTLYRdeal.com to get lifetime access to this and more for one very, very small price. So let's take a look over here. Tesla shares slide after judge voids Elon's $56 billion compensation. It just makes me sick. Yeah, I'm a Tesla and Elon fanboy. Yes, I own a Tesla. It's my thing, right? You're more than welcome to disagree with me on that. But you can't disagree with the fact that Elon knows what he's doing. This ruling is insane. The board should be able to decide whatever pay package it wants to give its CEO or others. Even if the CEO is a major shareholder, that should not matter when he or she has influence. Of course they do. They're an owner. I couldn't agree more with this person. They get a like for that, right? This person says, yikes. If Tesla's unable to provide incentives to Elon, he's going to eventually go somewhere else and do his own thing like he's done before. And this whole story, in my opinion, it's highway robbery. It is completely unjustified highway robbery. And I wouldn't doubt at all if it was politically motivated by the judge and by that investor. And it just makes me sick that some people act this way. The U.S. economy is slowing down as consumer spending loses steam. And the holiday season may have been its last hurrah. At least that's what Wells Fargo is saying. And I agree with them, right? The U.S. economy is set to cool considerably in the coming months as rampant spending by consumers comes to an end. Of course, it's going to come to an end. At some point, all the credit cards are going to be maxed out. At some point, all the savings are going to be gone. At some point, inflation is going to take over the fact that you can no longer keep up with your lifestyle. Yeah. Those in charge, those in the White House, those who want you to believe that everything is awesome, like the Lego song would have you believe, are lying to you, bold-faced lying to you, because you know, and I know, nothing is better. Nothing in my life is more profitable, more lucrative, more financially better off than it was before Joe Biden took office, right? Senior global market strategist at Wells Fargo said that retail spending is likely to slow over the course of 2024 as job markets ease and layoffs start to rise, which is one of the consequences that Jerome Powell said when he started raising rates. There will be pain. He said that, right? We do expect unemployment to go up. And the reason that the unemployment numbers haven't been showing that yet is when someone's getting laid off from their full-time job, they're having to take 2 or 3 other part-time jobs to make up for the full-time job that they've just lost. That's why we're not seeing that in the unemployment numbers yet, because first off, they're making up the unemployment numbers. They're making up the jobs numbers. Every time they release a jobs number, they release a revision to prior months, which is almost in line with the rise in the current month. So basically, it's a net zero every single month at this point, right? Consumer spending helped to lower the economic engine. Oh, I should say, consumer spending helped power the economic engine for most of 2023, even as shoppers battled high inflation and interest rates. A recent government report showed that the economy grew 3.3% in the fourth quarter, fueled in part by solid consumer spending. Do you know why the math works on that? Do you know why the economy grew at 3.3%? It's because every freaking thing costs more. Everything costs more. The way the economy grows is additional spending. So I know I'm spending a hell of a lot more than 3.3% than I was a year ago in the fourth quarter. But overall, everybody's spending more, and collectively it's gone up 3.3%. The report also shows that households were drawing down their cash reserves. Personal savings fell from 850 billion to 819 billion at the end of the year, and the personal savings rate is down to 4%. It appears consumers continue to be increasingly willing to tap into their savings or borrow more to support spending levels. It's unlikely to be sustainable as savings and lending are finite and should not be able to prop up the consumer in perpetuity. Right? It's not like the government who can just print money. It's not like the government who can just raise their debt ceiling constantly. At some point, people will run out of savings. At some point, people will completely max out their credit cards. And at some point, you will subscribe by hitting the subscribe button down below. And at the end of the third quarter, the U.S. household debt reached a record high of 17.3 trillion, according to the data published by the Federal Reserve Bank. That included 1.08 trillion in credit card debt, the highest level ever recorded. They want to tell you that the economy's doing awesome. They want to tell you that, oh, people are so excited to go out and spend money. That's why they're racking up credit card debt. But the truth is they have to rack up the credit card debt. They have to tap in their personal savings just to maintain the lifestyle that they had before. I'm so passionate about this because I'm living through it, and so are you. Well, inflation's fallen considerably from the peak of 9.1%. Since January 2021, prices across everything are up 17%. When you compound all of the inflation that we've seen going up, it's not 3.4% that the government wants to tell you. Oh, inflation has come down so much. Stop complaining. Inflation's way down. No, it was up 3, and then 6, and then 9, and then another 3, and then another 9. And then whatever the case is, we're at a total of 17.6% higher than it was just 3 years ago. 3 years ago. This is why people are outraged, because they remember what things cost 3 years ago. And they're looking at it today. I was talking about toothpaste to my kids this morning. I was like, this bottle of toothpaste cost $7. $7 for toothpaste. I remember that was $3, maybe even $2.50. $7 for toothpaste? Are you kidding? High inflation has created severe financial pressures for most U.S. households. Food prices are up 33%. Shelter's up 18%. And energy is up 32%. There is no place to hide when it comes to inflation. So let's take a look at what the markets are doing out there. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. We just got a buy signal a couple days ago, actually, January 25th. And if you had been following these signal returns using OVTLYR, you would have a 110.54% return, which is tremendous, right? So if you want to get your hands on some of these tremendous AI stock trading signals, be sure to head to OVTLYRdeal.com to get your hands on it for one low price for lifetime access to OVTLYR. Now let's take a look at what the internet's saying about this, right? Under President Biden, the inflation is falling and the economy is growing from the middle out and bottom up. Oh boy, anytime the White House puts out anything, you just know it's just a sack full of lies, right? UPS just laid off 12,000 people after they gave all the raises, so they were all making like $179,000 a year or whatever. UPS just laid off 12,000 drivers. Many companies are laying off. Bidenomics is a complete failure. I didn't know opposite day fell on a Tuesday. Let's keep on going here. It really is lie after lie with this administration. Yes. Of course, one thing after another. They do not want you to know just how bad the economy is. Why? Because they themselves labeled it as Bidenomics. And now Bidenomics is coming to bite them in the backside. Oh, I got to tell you, this is one thing I will not be doing. I like tech, right? I'm not a first mover on a lot of things. I just got a Tesla, but Teslas have been out for over a decade now. I've got an iPhone 13, which is like 3 years old at this point. So I like tech, but I am not going to be the first person to receive a Neuralink brain implant. But apparently, the first person who did is recovering well. Initial results show promising neuron spike detection, according to Elon. We just covered a story about Elon getting his $56 billion compensation package stolen from him. And now we're looking at this, right? The first human to receive Neuralink did so on Sunday and is recovering well. Neuralink announced on Sunday it was holding open recruitment for the first in-person clinical trials. Ugh, gives me the heebie-jeebies, right? In the announcement, the study would evaluate the safety of the company's compliant N1 and surgical robot R1 implant, not compliant. Company's implant and surgical robot were all assessing whether the device helped paralyzed people control external devices with their thoughts. The tech mogul also tweeted that the first version is called telepathy. Telepathy? Oh yeah, that's probably it. Explaining that it enables people to control their phone or computer and through almost any device just by thinking. Initial users will be those who have lost their ability to use their limbs, right? And he says that if Stephen Hawking would have used it, he would have been able to communicate faster than any typist or auctioneer. That's pretty cool, right? While I am not going to be the first person to use Neuralink, I think the applications of it could be pretty outstanding, right? I think about people with artificial limbs, right, and how they can move their limbs. I got a story to tell you real quick. Back in my day, my very first job was working at a gas station, and we sold lots of lottery tickets at the gas station, of course, like you do. But there was always this one old man who had a hook on one of his hands, right? That was his hand. I don't know his story, but I know he loved to play lottos. And dude would sit there, he would buy the ticket, put it on the counter, and then with his hook, just scratch it off. And I never understood how he would, it was like a two-prong hook. I never understood how he was able to open and close his hook. But I know that there's all kinds of prosthesis out there that like really move and do some really amazing things. And I could imagine implanting with Neuralink and whatever else could be a really significant milestone in the way that it helps those patients and those people live an easier and more successful life. And let's take a look at what the AI trading data has to say about a medical equipment supplier, AbbV. We got a sell signal back on December 22nd. So if you are an AbbV shareholder, now may be the time to be looking to take those profits and look for the next run and maybe a different stock. In fact, if you were an AbbV shareholder following these signals, you'd have seen a 75.20% return following the outlier signal. So I love sharing this because I love to see how well this works. And I like to share it with you. And if you want to get your hands on this, you can get it for one very, very low price, and it will have lifetime access to Outlier. So head over to OVTLYRdeal.com to get that lifetime access while it's still going on, because it will be going away soon. So let's see what the internet says about this, right? The first human, Elon says, the first human received an implant from Neuralink yesterday and it's recovering well. Initial results show promising neuron spike detection. Not Jerome Powell says, I need an implant for my printer. And this says, here's the thing though. When your Neuralink chip gets hacked, you're never going to give it up. Never going to have the brain implant in your head. Yeah, it's going to be Rickroll all day, every day. What's the objective of this particular implant? To be like in the Matrix and download Kung Fu? I don't know. That sounds like it'd be pretty useful. I think it would be, you know, when you think of the Matrix out there, a lot of what Elon is doing is trying to build up the Matrix. Listen, I am and always will be an Elon fan, so I'm curious to see where this goes. But I'm going to be one of the last people that gets Neuralink. I don't know about you. But do click one of these two videos. YouTube thinks you're going to love to watch more, and I'll see you on the next Outlier Live.